the mental health of the class of 2024 is in sharp focus as they receive their matric results. The journey leading up to these exams can be filled with overwhelming pressure as well as stress. The stress and anxiety that accompany the results day can be even worse at times, even leading others to self-harm. How can families and loved ones support these young adults during this time? Roshni Parbhoo-Seetha from the South African Depression and Anxiety Group, SADC, joins me now to chat some more. Welcome to On Point, Roshni. Thank you so much for your time. We find ourselves once again here at the beginning of the year where we really put binoculars on the mental health of these young women and men who may or may not have performed well. What is the best way to prepare a matriculant child during this time? A few hours, I'm thinking it's just a few hours before some of them receive their results, on how to handle the pressure. Is there anything that can be done at this late stage?
Absolutely. Hi, and thank you for having me. I think tonight might be the most overwhelming night for a lot of them as they wait for those results to be released tomorrow when they go to the schools to get them. But for so many, there's that anxiety and the nerves and the stress and so many overwhelming feelings. And I think the most important thing is to remind all of our matriculants is that these feelings are normal. It's absolutely okay to feel that way. This is 12 years of your schooling career that has now come to completion and you don't know what to expect. Your whole future depends on these results. And for many of them, they don't know what their plan B or plan C is. They just have the idea of, I am going to get my results and this is what I want to do next year. So many of them are so overwhelmed. And yes, there's support available. There are so many of us to tell them that we've all been through that. We know what these feelings are like. I think for many of them, they're just not sure that, am I allowed to feel this way?
Yeah.
And it says, yes, you absolutely are allowed to feel this way. And regardless of what those results are tomorrow, we will find a way to help you succeed in your future.
While we navigate and put a lot of focus on the time of the results, but the truth of the matter is that from around grade 11 and knowing that you're going to grade 12, so many of them may find themselves so overwhelmed with so much anxiety that from the beginning of the year, they may struggle with coping with the demands of grade 12. Do you think that parents can employ certain strategies to start it from as early as in grade 11 to help with that anxiety so that it's not something that carries on? Because when you look, I've read a couple of articles where a lot of the 17, 18-year-olds are struggling very heavily with mental health problems.
Absolutely. You know, the one thing that I do suggest, and we often need to think about it as parents, is that we put so much pressure on these kids from grade 11 and then again in grade 12. We need to remind them from a young age that studying is important, education is important, and maintaining that. So that when they get to grade 11 and grade 12, they are already used to this pressure of getting through all these results and these examinations and assessments. There's so much pressure on our students, our learners. And so as parents, I think it's only important to, from a very young age, instill that in our kids. That education is so important. And if you want to succeed, it is something that you do have to put a lot of effort into. But as parents, also open those lines of communication. Talk to your kids. Talk to them. Ask them what they are feeling. Parents are also going through a hard time. And so we're all in the same boat.
Definitely. Roshni, just lastly, the issue of self-harm is something that does come up during this time when one finds that they did not do as well as they could have done. How do we prepare ourselves as family members, and how do we prepare our loved one to help them to not even go that route?
So again, we just need to remind our matriculants that feeling sad is okay, feeling anxious is okay, but not to sit in those emotions. We need to find some sort of a way to move forward. But we are always so scared to ask that question, are you thinking of hurting yourself? Because we are not sure of the answer that we are going to get. But often that's the most important question, and it does need to be asked. And so if you are someone who is a loved one of a matriculant or a caregiver, or you have someone and you can see that they have those signs of struggling a bit, ask that question. Are you thinking of hurting yourself? What are these feelings that you are experiencing? How can I help you through it? And just remind them that regardless of what these results are, I am so incredibly proud of you for getting through these 12 years.
Yeah.
And regardless of what those results are, we'll find a way forward.
And it's not the end of life. And as you can see on the bottom of the screen, Roshni, maybe we could just remind our viewers that the toll-free line is there on the bottom of the screen, the SADC mental health line that you can make use of if you find that you need some resources or some help to get through this time, whether you're a parent or a student. Roshni, thank you so much. I've been speaking to Roshni, as she is from the SADC mental, South African Anxiety and Depression Group, SADC. Thank you so much for your time.